We've had a few tokes, and Kai's like, yeah, we'll just have popcorn or whatever. But then I go in there and make his popcorn, and then I'll somehow think of something and whip something up. And then he's like, wait, if I'd known you were making grilled cheese sandwiches and tater tots, like I would have had that. But I thought we were just going like bare bones, and then he always gets really pissed.
I mean, yeah, if I knew you were
wanting
grilled cheese and tater tots, yeah.
So whatever's inspiring me in the moment, like.
So you'll get behind the grill. You'll heat it up.
I try to decide the level of how clean is my kitchen right now. Are there currently dishes in the sink? If there are none, how many pan? If I can use one pan to create something that I'll be satisfied with, like this is truly how I think.
That's actually a pretty good rationale. Like, how can we keep it clean?
Yeah, because I feel like I do cook a lot and I love baking and cooking, but I'm just always doing dishes. I feel like I have so many dishes, and if I can just do bare bones when I don't feel like it, I try
help her out, Kai.
Do the most, but do the least, you know?
That was well played. Okay, that was a great answer. All right, so the next kind of questions these are a little bit of a brain buster. So you can actually take your time, and I'll actually cut out the time in the middle.
Okay.
But we'll get back to that question of the story from when you were younger. But this one is going to be called The Last Supper. So, Chris, go ahead and give her the rules. Let her know how she's dying tomorrow.
Yeah. Well, you don't really have to say you're dying tomorrow.
It's the last supper.
The Last Supper. But you can't invite friends or family. But you can invite anyone else, living or dead. And you can invite 4 guests. Who are you having, and what are you eating? It can't be that hard. You got to think of 4 people that you would just think would be, and you know, it can change from day to day, but right now, who would you want to sit with at the dinner table?
Ellen. I would talk to Ellen. I would talk to, oh gosh. This is stumping me. I wasn't prepared for a deep question like this.
So got her.
Oh. And the reason I'm so stumped is because I feel like I'm panicking that it could be 4 people that I could learn from.
I'm going to cut out all the fat of this, whatever.
No, but I'm struggling to come up with someone because I feel like that would be an opportunity to learn a lot of things from people that I've wanted to learn things from or ask questions to in my life. And I'm in such a phase of learning right now, always trying to consume and learn, and I'm panicking because I feel like there's not enough. I want to learn more.
Yeah, but so would it be like a musician, or would it be you love food and travel and trips and things of that nature? Would you want someone like a Bourdain or a Giada? People you wouldn't want would be Sandusky and
I'd like to meet
Matt
Martha.
Lauer.
I actually would like to meet Martha.
Martha would be pretty cool. Yeah, you don't want. Yeah, I'm trying to think of people you don't want there. Epstein.
Yeah.
But yeah, Ellen's a good one. You had that, and then who was the second person?
Amy
Martha.
Poehler would be good.
Amy Poehler.
Amy
Bring
Schumer, Jennifer Lawrence.
You can only have 4, and are you saying that if it's your last supper, you're gonna have Amy Schumer?
Why can't they all be?
They don't have to be actresses. Okay, I guess they can be.
I mean, they can be whomever. We may cut just 8 minutes and just pretend like we never really asked this question.
Yeah, I'm stumped. I don't know.
Okay, so what's our final question then?
You went with so we got dinosaurs. If you were a dinosaur, Cassidy, one that personifies you today, what kind of dinosaur would you be? Are you high?
Side-eye from my husband because I feel like he's just picturing Jurassic Park right now.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
That's what we're bringing.
Why aren't you? I definitely.
What dinosaur movie are you picturing?
Yeah, Land Before Time. Duh.
Touche. That's actually touche. Yeah. Oh, Littlefoot.
I would be one of those raptors though on Jurassic Park. That they just kind of come in and everything is just loud and chaotic, and everyone definitely knows that they've arrived.
A pterodactyl.
They hunt in packs.
Or a velociraptor.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh.
Yes.
You struggling over there, Chris?
Yeah, I was.
Yeah.
I like
yes. it. I take up a lot of space in a room. Maybe not
What does that
physically,
mean? What does that mean?
I've been told.
What, like a velociraptor comes in, it's like peacocking?
Yeah, like when a velociraptor.
I know exactly. Yeah. I have
But I own
definitely.
it. I own it. Like I am who I am. And
I'm with you on that, girl. I'm with you.
like I said, I'm not the person that's meant to be sitting in a bench, not talking to anyone for 8 hours for a job. I need to be interacting with people. People are my thing,
So do you get cabin fever at the home office, and then you start talking to like squirrels outside the window?
I mean, apparently so.
I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. Again, I have found that squirrel's pretty fucking awesome as well.
Squirtle.
No, actually, what I have to say to that is when I was in an office, I would come home every day and need at least an hour to decompress, and I really didn't do that much socially outside of being in an office. And then since I've gone remote, I feel like I'm a lot more intentional with my social interactions, so I'm just down to business with work during the day, and then I somehow choose to be around you guys in the evenings at all of these, like,
You don't have to say
dinner.
choose. We know that.
Just say.
We know you don't choose. It just so happens to be the case. It's cool. We're okay with it.
No.
We understand.
But yeah, so I feel like it's actually worked out because I'm at home during the day for work, but then I still actually get out of the house and go to a lot of really cool events around town, and
Have you ever thought about starting your own TV show?
Yeah.
Well, you should do that.
Okay. I mean, what kind of a TV show do you
I think it
want?
needs to be like a combination of like a little Martha and a little bit of Ellen, like tips for across the board.
Yeah.
And then start putting on YouTube. I mean, because I think a lot of your followers would, and you have some pretty good advice across a wide variety of things, and you could actually use in real life
Oh, that's
situations.
Great. Thank you for saying that. That's like I feel like
I'll copyright and trademark that concept right now. It's called Cassidy's at Home or something.
Well, but what you're saying right now is such a representation of me. Like I have such a solid advice base on a wide variety of things. And like I said earlier, my text messages look the same as my Instagram DMs because my friends and family and people that I know in my life are coming to me and have always come to me for these types of things that I'm doing and sharing on Cassidy Eats.
So, and I can delete this question later if I've already asked it or y'all have asked it while I was in the other room.
Okay.
But do you already have a plan? Like, what's next for Cassidy Eats? Is it to expand into video, or is it to continue to party on Facebook with the diehards? What's next?
The thing about Cassidy Eats is if my head is spinning with ideas that I have for content that I want to do, or a series, or ways to connect with my followers. So in my Facebook group just a couple of weeks ago, I was like, hey guys, I was just thinking, wouldn't it be kind of fun on a Sunday afternoon to bake together, make something, and then I'll go on live and we'll just like talk? And everyone loved the idea. We did it, and I posted a recipe and the ingredients on the weekend so you could, go buy the things, and everybody made the payday bars that I made together. I made mine ahead of time because I wanted to be able to focus and talk to them and like actually run the live. But I've done a lot of searching since I went to school to be an English teacher, and then I found myself out in Denver, couldn't get a job, worked at a tech company where I was constantly, I feel like, trying to prove myself, when I've always had this set of skills that I'm like, it's such a weird set of skills. It's not going to get me the VP position in a company, but I know how to make shit happen, and I know how to create an event, or, I have recommendations. So this is something actually I don't think you know about me, but when working at a different tech company, I was a personal concierge here in Denver. So I had a couple of clients who I had this amazing client who lived kind of right outside of Denver in Evergreen, and she would message me and she'd be like, hey, so she had family coming from South Korea and they were spending 3 days in Denver and then 3 days in Breckenridge. I put together the entire itinerary, hotels, booked everything, made reservations, and just told them in an itinerary, like, this is where you need to be and when, and took care of it all for her. And I've also organized her pantry and put in a new system. So I've had clients that I just do these things, it's just kind of
random.
Yeah, and I've considered actually starting a business like that myself.
You wear many hats.
Yes, but and maybe it is something that I might do one day. So,
but you enjoy working with the tech team from the Bulgarians all the way over to those that are in Colombia?
I don't know. I really just ultimately, so you asked me what the goal is. I want to figure out a way to document my knowledge or things that I've learned because I've failed so many times in a way that's resourceful and easy for people to read and have access to. And not for a way that I want people to see my page and know my brand or, get me paid, but just in a way that I feel like I've fucked up enough that I have a lot of information to share, so like I can help someone. So I want to put it down so it can access the most amount of people. Instagram stories, you save it to your highlights and people might see it or whatever, or it's just the 24-hour thing, but YouTube is another step of that. Is that the right move that I go? I don't know. I just want to find a way to share.
You should get a TikTok. Have you seen TikTok?
I've seen TikTok.
For where we all come from, I think TikTok is pretty.
I used to be really into Vine too.
This is the hard.
Were you a Vine star?
No.
I was just curious.
I wasn't.
We just got to the bottom of this.
What?
Like what Cassidy Eats is about right there.
Oh. Yeah.
It only takes us an hour, but we get there. We
Yeah.
find those hard hitting. Yeah, that's awesome. You need to start your own business one day.
Yeah, for sure.
I'd say in probably the next 6 months, go for it.
I mean, I definitely already have.
Chris
too.
is also our financial business advisor. He watches stonks.
He's the guru over here. No, I already have started my own business. I feel like a lot of people are like, what's the goal? Do you want to quit your job? And maybe I will someday, but I feel like knowing myself as a person, and I've had this conversation many times with Kai, my husband, I'm always going to be doing 5 things at once. And so it's not a realistic goal for me to say, okay, yeah, I'm going to make enough money on Cassidy Eats to then quit my job and only work on Cassidy Eats. I just don't know that that's ever going to actually happen because that's not who I am. Not because you know what I mean? And maybe, I don't know what life's going to bring me. And I made this decision when I came out to Denver. I wanted to be a high school English teacher my entire life. And I was so brokenhearted that I couldn't get a job. And I got a job at a tech company, and it's kind of like rotational new grad program. And the reason that I ultimately decided to do it, I remember vividly a conversation that I had about it. I was like, actually, I'm going to do this because I have no idea where this is going to take me. If I'm an English teacher, no offense to English teachers, but that's what I'm going to be for the next 20 years. And I think that my mind is so creative and I like to tinker, kind of how I talked about earlier. I need to just do this because I'm going to figure it out a lot more and in turn be more successful. And to me, being successful is liking what you do and how you do it. And I feel like I'm getting to that point now where I would have been a lot more limited as a teacher, I think. So although I love and admire teachers, sometimes I'm really jealous of my mom who has a classroom because that's what I wanted. I would have never fit into that situation. So it's great, but it's definitely not for me. And it was something I thought was for me for a long time, but it's actually not. And I'm okay with that because look at what I'm doing right this minute. I mean, like I said earlier, with Cassidy Eats, I have to enjoy what I do because it's not this thing that I'm making a bunch of money from, and it takes a lot of time. You really have to enjoy it to be successful, I think, too. So, however long that takes to come, because I have a lot of other things going on in my life.
So, what do we have next on the docket? What should we be looking forward to this week? After Liza, we got anything else cool going on?
Yeah, I'm going to the Denver Zoo on Thursday for Taps and Tails.
There we go.
I'm really looking forward to that.
People can get tickets on the Denver Zoo's website.
Yes. We went to the Zoo Lights last Christmas, so that'll definitely be an event.
Dude, the Zoo Lights. So
yes.
When does that technically start? What the fuck?
I don't know when the Zoo Lights starts, but the Taps and Tails is kind of the fall version of that event. So we're going to go check that out and get some craft beer, some snacks, see some animals. And then Friday we're going to American Grind in Wash Park for Friday Night Lights, LITES, for Coors Lights, $2 Coors Lights on Fridays.
That's the new place, the same team from the way back and used to be Wayward. Mm-hmm. They have opened a burger spot down in Wash Park. It's supposed to be bomb. So, hey, report back for us on that one.
Definitely will. I'm excited for a date night.
It's a burger bar?
Yeah.